Today I'm going to show you my exact system for creating high quality videos in just 1 week or even shorter. And I'm not talking about easy mode videos, alright? I'm talking about crafting videos in your own unique style without having to work a stupid amount of hours a day. I'll walk you through the 7 steps I've refined over my 15 plus years as a professional video producer and editor. But there is a step I never had to do in my career before, but this one thing really forced me to get straight on my vision before even hitting record. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or struggled to finish your videos consistently, you might want to stick around for this one. There's a lot of good stuff to get through, so let's get it going. This is by far the most important step in the whole process. It's more important than filming, more important than editing, and I love editing, and that's pre-production. Pre-production, or pre-pro as it's called in the industry, is really the foundation of the entire video. If you put in the effort during this stage, it will not only save you time in the long run, it will also make your videos better. This is when you not only flesh out the idea, but flesh out the execution of the idea. Everything from the shot list, shooting locations, what gear you need or don't need. It's also when you plan out things that are specific to YouTube, but extremely important if you care at all about growth, which I will talk about in a moment. So you have your idea, you know what video you want to make. Now you start writing a script, right? Well, just wait a second. There is one thing different about pre-production for YouTube videos, and something I never really thought about until I got into the YouTube world. Now I want to make this very clear, all right? I am not a YouTube guru at all. So this is the only YouTube-y advice that I actually stand by. You have to think of the title and thumbnail first. If you want your videos to have a chance at getting views, you have to start with the title and thumbnail, because not only are they the first thing viewers see before even watching your video, the title dictates the script. For example, if your video is about how to make $1 bajillion, but your title is Vlog Day 3, a day in a life, and your thumbnail is you eating spaghetti or something. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna watch the video. I'm not gonna click on it. And that's a shame, because frankly, I would like to learn how to make $1 bajillion. Also, I hope that as a species, we are far beyond the clickbaity titles and shocked face thumbnails. All right, so you have your video idea, your title and thumbnail. Now you can start scripting your video. Now this is the exact same format I used when I wrote and produced TV spots for one of the biggest sports networks in the country, and it's a simple 2-column Word document. One side is the audio description. That's your script, what you're gonna say, and any audio cues like music or sound bites. And on the other side is the video description, or shot list. Now, script writing is obviously a skill in and of itself, and I'll make a video about that in the future, but for now, my most important piece of advice when it comes to script writing is just start. Just start writing. Trust me, once you start writing words, it'll start flowing. That's just how our brains work. And at this point, don't worry about editing or whether you're choosing the right words or not, or whether it's good or bad. If you just write from the heart, it'll be right for you. Out of all the steps in video creation, I find writing to be the most therapeutic. There's something really cathartic about structuring the mess in my head. Now, depending on your style, you can either write word for word, or you can just write talking points that you can then riff off while you're filming. Now, for me, I do like to write word for word, but I don't actually say it word for word when I'm in front of the camera. I like to freestyle a little bit when I'm here, for better or for worse. I don't know, it just makes things more fun for me, and enjoying the process is just so incredibly important. Speaking of important, this next step will make filming so much easier and have your editor thanking you and sending you gifts in the mail, especially when you are the editor. Thanks, me! Once you have your script, go back and start writing your shot list. Writing out your B-roll shots is extremely important because it helps you plan ahead for your filming days. You know exactly what you need to film and not waste any time on what you don't need to film. When it comes to B-roll, this is where you can use your creativity and imagination. Think of how you can visualize a talking point in a more effective way than you just talking on the camera the whole time. It's always better to show, don't tell. But of course, B-roll is not the meat of your video. Or tofu, if you're vegetarian. Or broccoli? So let's talk about A-roll. Now, talking on camera is really what makes YouTube YouTube. Now, in my scripts, I like to list out which parts will be on camera and which parts will be covered by B-roll. It just makes things a lot easier. Now, sometimes I change locations of my A-roll just to make things more visually interesting, and I will make note of that in the script, while other videos I will just film all the A-roll in the same location. Whether you want to change locations of your A-roll completely depends on the video, on your own style, and to be real with you, for me, it depends on how much time I have to film. So normally this is where one would talk about the sponsor of the video. Don't worry, I'm not gonna sell you some AI software or something. I'm actually selling myself. All right. No, not like that. I'm talking about my video creator program. Oh. It's a hands-on program for creative-minded video creators who are tired of overthinking and stuck in perfectionism. And it's not about chasing views or virality. It's all about creativity, consistency, and creating videos that feel like you. So if that sounds like you, check out the link below to sign up for the waitlist. With pre-pro out of the way, now we can start filming. Sometimes I get it all done in one day, but I'll usually give myself 2 days for filming. I always start by filming my A-roll. If I'm filming in multiple locations, I shoot everything in location 1 all at once and everything in location 2 all at once, even if it is chronologically out of order according to the script. When you plan correctly, you could focus on filming versus guessing what to film. You could focus on your presentation, how you speak on camera, getting the right composition and lighting. Planning also allows you to have some fun with filming and editing. Again, that's why pre-production is so important. Filming A-roll is pretty self-explanatory, but I know it can feel awkward talking to a camera. Now, I'm not the best at it, that's why I script my videos. Otherwise, these videos will just be 80% of me saying, cause you know when it just takes practice. And I'm sorry to say this, but you're probably going to suck the first few times, and that's okay. We've all been there, myself included. My one advice for talking to the camera is don't talk to the camera. Instead, talk to a friend. Hi, friend. All right, so let's talk about B-roll. A great B-roll is all about getting multiple angles of the same thing. Get a wide shot of the thing, a medium shot of the thing, a close-up, maybe even an extreme close-up of the thing. Trust me, as an editor, having multiple angles is so important. I'm not gonna lie, it takes a lot of work, and especially if you're filming solo, it takes a lot of time. But I think it's worth it, and it's what separates a boring video from a visually engaging video. While we're on the topic of B-roll, I have seen a lot of great YouTube videos that have no B-roll at all. Whether you have B-roll or not is completely up to you. It depends on your style and whether you have the time and energy to film B-roll. I like filming B-roll, I like including it in the edit. That's why I do it. It's as simple as that. When you have all of your footage, it's off to my favorite part of the process. Now, editing is a massive topic, and there's no way I could fit that all in this video, but here's my process in a nutshell. First, I'll do an assembly edit of the A-roll. I'll go through the footage, select my best takes, and make a rough edit. At this point, it doesn't have to be polished because I know I'm gonna finesse things later on. If you tweak and focus on the details right now, trust me, you're just wasting your time. Now, speaking of not wasting time, there is a very important step that I do while editing the A-roll. I like to create notes on the timeline itself of where B-roll shots are going to go. Now you can make markers, but I like adding text graphics directly on the timeline. That way, when I'm done assembling the A-roll, I can zoom out and visually see exactly where B-roll shots need to go without having to go through the entire video. After assembling the A-roll, it's time to add the B-roll, right? I mean, that's how the alphabet works, A, B, C. Well, before adding B-roll, I like to add music. A lot of creators say to pick the music first before you edit, before you film, before you even script, as the music sets the vibe of everything. So that's exactly what I did when I edited TV spots, but I find that I don't do that for YouTube videos. I start with the A-roll and then look for music. I think it really depends on the video, on your style. If I were creating a video that is heavy on B-roll and not so much on talking head, then yeah, I would probably pick the music first. So as with all creative choices, it depends. So here's an unpopular opinion, as the kids say. Music alone won't make your video better. Yes, music can help take a video to another level, but only if you select the right track that fits the tone. And more importantly, the story has to work without the music. If the storytelling isn't strong by itself, the music won't save it. So with the music included, now is a good time to go through the entire video and start finessing your edits. You want to get what we call in the industry a picture lock. That basically means that you want the edit to be at a point where you won't change the timing of anything in the entire video. All the necessary footage is in place and the edit feels good as it is. So now it's a matter of adding the spice that separates beginner creators from more advanced creators. And I'm talking about sound design. Depending on the type of video you're making, you can go absolutely nuts with sound design if that's what the video needs. Or, like most of my videos, my sound design is kind of like a fart. It's invisible, but is there. Now, sound design can really elevate the production value of your videos, but as with all things, it really comes down to taste and what the video actually needs. It's never about doing a lot, it's about doing what feels right. And with that said, you can't go wrong with a cinematic riser and a hard cut to black. The final step of editing is color correction and color grading. I'm not an expert at color grading. I've worked with professional colorists and they're just on another level that I could never really fully comprehend. With that said, color correction is a part of my process. So without going too in depth, here are my 3 rules for color grading. Rule number 1, get your skin tones right. Rule number 2, LUTs are not an automatic fix. And rule number 3, there are no rules. And that really applies to everything I've mentioned in this video. As the title of this video says, this is my system, my workflow that I've learned over nearly 2 decades of making videos. But if you talk to another person who's also been doing this for nearly 2 decades, they might have a completely different workflow that works for them. There are no rules for any of this stuff. A lot of creativity comes down to taste, which is a whole other topic. Okay, so your video is done. Watch it one more time, and unless there are any major mistakes, do not change anything. Don't tweak that cut, don't change that shot, don't swap out the music, fix any typos if there are any, but don't do anything else. You are done. So export that bad boy, upload it to YouTube, give it the title and thumbnail you already created before, and hit publish. And like I said, this process works for me, but what really matters is taking action and sticking with it. Now that's exactly what my video creator program is all about. So if that sounds like something you need, check out the link below. Now there is one more thing you need to do, and it's the most important step in this whole thing. Be proud of your work. Be proud of what you accomplished, regardless of how the video performs, how many views it gets. I hope that the joy was in the creation itself, and the success is in the completion of it. That said, I hope you get a bajillion views on your video.